Hello there, wayward travelers and wanderers. This is Kim coming at you with a brief voiceover as we shuffle up the cards. I know many of you are listening rather than watching. I will explain which cards we pick and where they go in the layout, but first, I wanted to tell you that you can find an extended version of this podcast on our Patreon for only $10. You will get the raw 2 hour plus show. Also, coming soon at the very first tier will be our Conscious Coffee Chit Chat live show. We do have other things at higher tiers planned, like a monthly themed box of handmade goodies, personal monthly tarot readings, or dream interpretations, and eventually merch. All of that can be found in the description box below. Now, back to the card reading. This week we have a 6 card layout. In the first is the weekly theme, which we have Krishna, which means devotion. 2 is the beginning of the week. We have 9 of rods, or it could be wands, depending on the deck you have. 3 is the middle of the week, which is release toxic relationships. Number 4 is end of the week, which we got butterfly clan, which means mental clarity, awakening, and beauty. Number 5 is the weekend. We use my round cards, so we have the 6 of disc and it's turned to the right. Number 6 is what am I to learn, and we got the moon.
All right.
Make sure we have these all set up. So we're going to pop up the
Oh yeah, because I remember it was like a stair.
yeah,
It's like this and this, and then this was like on top of.
was it? Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a stair, and then there we go. Okay.
Okay.
This is our weekly tarot. This is the weekly planning. Here we're gonna start with 1, go to 2, and then 3, 4, 5, and then 6.
I'll try to put the thing up here, the layout.
Yeah. All right, so starting with 1, that was regarding our weekly theme here. And so number 1, we have Krisha, which is also under it. It says devotion. And on the card, it says trust your spiritual guidance. Your commitment has been recognized. You are loved unconditionally. So the theme of this one was regarding that you have this deep spiritual connection and you must trust your guidance. You may feel like you're on a mental, emotional battleground, devotion to your spiritual connection, and act from your soul. Choose wisely and also remember your intuition, that gut feeling. Again, that was the weekly theme.
Yep, so remember to fall back on your spiritual beliefs pretty much during this week. As you can tell, when we move forward, you can read some of the cards, especially this one.
Oh, it all just ties in.
Yeah, it all just ties in. So
beautifully, and it all makes sense.
Yes.
All right. So number 2, we have 9 of rods. This one, the key words for this one was intuition, creativity, and inspiration. So strength, firm resolve, courage, moral certainties, and check your own perception here and have ability to show vulnerability. Now that I'm reading this one again, before we get into the other one, I'm like, oh my gosh, now I get it,
Yeah.
I'm like really excited because this one's like,
yeah,
pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah.
All right. So the third one, on the card it says release toxic relationships. So, when you think about that, remember you got to surround yourself with love and harmony, intention, to attract kind energy and organize and prioritize those with the same energy that you want around you,
what was that one again? The The middle of the week?
Oh, sorry. Yeah. So going back, so 2 was the beginning of the week. And then number 3 is the middle of the week. And so now, as you can kind of see with this spread, it's almost like a staircase effect.
Yeah, I had to lift this up so you could read it. But
yeah.
It goes down here technically.
Yeah. But, it's still the same intentions in that are still there. So, yeah, again, that one was the middle of the week for number 3. And it seems like we're going quick, but at the end of it, this is the whole point. We kind of talk about it.
Then we'll get into the podcast.
Yeah.
Yes.
So number 4. So if that was the middle, number 4 is the end of the week. We have the butterfly clan. This one, the main, it says here on the cards too, like the main words that stand out is mental clarity, awakening, beauty. Kind of have to go into the numbers too. We didn't really look into that.
Yeah, I can pull it up real quick while you read through that.
Yeah, because we have like the 9, the 8, the 6 here. That's 10, 5, so 18 for the moon.
So which would be 9. We have 2 9s then.
Yeah. So, and then so it all kind of. We'll just check back and see what all this kind of means to open it up more. So for Butterfly Clan, this one, breaking free of restriction and coming into something beautiful, finding something beautiful, not only, it could be within yourself, within the world, or something that you might have never noticed, kind of tying back into like the toxic relationships where you kind of it's surrounded with like hate, abuse, toxicity, and then coming into something that's just breathtaking and kind of like relaxing, decompressing, and realizing something like beautiful, that awakening.
Do you want me to read what number 8 means?
Yeah.
Think of it like the infinity symbol. When you turn 8 on the side, it's infinity.
Mm-hmm.
And, it could be like a cycle as well.
Yeah.
So I remember we mentioned earlier when we were going through it off screen that there's a lot of cycles happening here.
Mm-hmm.
Like the moon is a cycle, right? Discs is like a circle. Mm-hmm. Cycles. It says 8 is the number of infinity. It can relate to infinite love, infinite energy, or something other that you may have in abundance. And then, go back to, look at more of the beauty and all the beauty you have around you, which will help, bring about awakenings in your own life.
Yeah.
It is also considered that the number 8 is a symbol of self-confidence, success, inner wisdom, and compassion, which kind of ties back over here is, standing strong in your foundation, even though everything seems like it's moving around.
Yeah.
Moving around you, and it doesn't feel stable, but you know what? You're the stable one right now.
Right. And, when you were saying like, something that's always there, beauty is always there.
Yeah.
There's always like, not to sound like toxic positivity, but I do tend to be very, like glass half full type of person, always see the light and the beauty and like especially during dark times, but you feel like clouded of that beauty when you're in
the toxic
restraining relationships and that.
Sometimes something came up, like sometimes you're the toxic person to yourself, and you had to break out of that cycle, which we'll get there later, but there's a cycle maybe even within yourself that you had to break from, like, negative self-thought. Like, I have that a lot too. I know we all have that at some point or another. But to break out of that, you had to notice the beauty in yourself as well.
Yeah.
Even if it's hard. Oh, well, you know what? I like the way my kneecap looks. Something simple. It could be silly. I know kneecaps. Who thinks of that? But it's like, hey, it's something small and it's something I look at every day that I notice. Like, hey, you know what? My kneecap actually looks really nice today, guys.
You mentioned that. I've been looking at my dimples, and I'm like, I have dimples when I smile, and I'm like, that's something like quirky and like minuscule, but I'm like, oh, it's something like, just kind of new with me.
This brings me joy.
Yeah, exactly.
6.
So we're going into 5, which is the 6 of discs. This one, we're gonna talk about the picture first because it
bring it up.
Yeah. It's a woman who's either like healing, massaging, another woman like healing. Yeah, I know. Who's basically like healing another woman, like helping and taking, time and effort to like give to somebody else. And that was like the theme of this one, was giving more than you receive. Number 5, that was the weekend. So going back as kind of like, this is the beginning, middle, end of the week, and then this is hitting the weekend. Giving more than you may receive. This can be giving too much energy, thought, or time into somebody else, into a situation, into something, kind of giving too much life into something, or too much,
time, energy, all that.
Yeah. And then you were saying alternatively that it could be a friend of, somebody else.
Giving their time to you to help you process whatever it is you're going through. Because I know we're going to have several different types of people here. This could be relationships, this could be with yourself, this could be, friendships, whatever. You could have someone here that's like, you know what? Yeah, come stay with me. I will help heal you from this trauma that you're going through. Or it could be, you're giving too much of yourself into this relationship and not getting anything in return. And it's time to take that back and heal yourself.
Yeah. So
I can go into the number 6 if you want me to.
Yeah.
So the number 6 may be considered not only a symbol of a man, but also a symbol of a male animal, I guess. Number 6 is also used as a symbol of sin and imperfection in the Bible. The number 6 is also used in the Bible as a symbol of work, because a man was supposed to work 6 days to sow the earth during the period of 6 years. So it could also be, I guess, it's funny because like I thought this was a man before I actually looked at it and read like from the book.
Yeah.
But it's, I guess, go back and work on what you think is imperfect. But like, I'm saying this like in a good way, like reframe your brain to like, know what, this is perfectly imperfect, instead of this is, not perfect at all and it's bad. And then go back and you just do work for yourself, work on yourself, and get through this.
Or, alternatively, with it being like work, and this being about giving more than you may receive, is it like maybe you're putting too much work into yourself?
Yeah, it could be. Maybe you're overworking.
Yeah, because if you think about it in like a relationship, you ever get to a point where you're like, oh, maybe it's me?
Yeah.
And you put too much work into yourself, and then you realize there's only so much that I can do when I'm not the issue, like there's only so much like work that I can put in when it's not me that needs it or something.
Yeah, it's like you're putting too much effort into your needs and wants. Again, going back to maybe you're the toxic person.
Yeah.
And we've all probably been a toxic person to someone.
Yeah.
And you push and you push and you push because you think you're meaning well, but
might be coming off
a bit strong and unwanted.
Yeah.
But yeah, going back and working, and instead of you trying to like help someone, maybe it's something inside you that you need to work on. I mean, it's a web.
Yeah. A cycle.
It's like, why are you pushing so hard in this relationship? Maybe ask those questions.
Yeah.
I mean, that could be for anywhere, like anyone. Like, why are you working so hard to appease this relationship with yourself or with, a person?
Somebody else,
or
yeah. Let's see, what number was that? We said 18 was on that for the moon.
So then 1 plus 8 is 9 for the symbolism. So we have 2 9s.
Yeah. So here we have the moon. So this one, number 6, it was, what am I to learn of all of this? So the moon, it's outcomes coming through, or it can be like you're stuck in a cycle and you need to make your choice.
Yep.
You either need to make a breakthrough or you get stuck. You need to enable a connection with enchantment and realms. Realm.
Also, we think we read Traveler earlier.
Yeah, it was like
in this card.
Yeah, it was a lot of stuff like connected to. It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
But overall, and it kind of tied back into the first one, was like, overall, you need to use your intuition and trust yourself and really put yourself into perspective to cut a cycle.
Yeah.
So
reframe your brain, and because this is like, this is unconscious stuff. A lot of the times is like you do things unconsciously, and then you're like, dang, why did I do that? And then you have to, direct or realize that some of these things are learned behaviors that you don't understand why you do them. You just do them, and it contributes to a cycle. But when you recognize that cycle, I'm trying to like show my hand, but when you recognize that cycle, you're able to break it faster. And I mean, it's not gonna be an overnight thing. It's
a habit.
It's like a habit. You got to break it, and it takes constant practice. It's not going to take 1 week, but maybe this week is you recognize something in yourself. You recognize that, hey, this thing that I'm doing is not healthy for me or the people around me, and I'm going to take a step, just a step, even if it's a baby step, in the right direction to change it, because I can see it now.
It's kind of like opposite of like narcissism.
Yeah.
I mean, we can make a whole episode about narcissism.
Oh gosh.
Oh my god.
Yeah. It's like it could be like, like what popped in my mind is maybe someone wants to go to a 12-step program for something.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. I was thinking just cycle, like the abuse cycle, where you have like the honeymoon stage, the I'm sorry, and then you kind of just fall back. We have all these things coming at us. Like, this is one very small spread to encompass a lot of people that are going to end up reading it one day. But let's see, going back to the number 9, which it's the end of a cycle. Number 9 is a symbol of completeness, of God, and also a symbol of finality. According to the Bible, the number 9 is also a symbol of fruits, or the Holy Spirit of God. There are 9 fruits that are mentioned in the Bible, and some of them are goodness, gentleness, kindness, peace, etc. But I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to, go back to the Bible. I know the ones I was reading was about the Bible, but it was a quick thing, so you can get the idea of it. Well, the beginning sounded like kind of like a cycle, right? And
it's a completion of a cycle. So 1 through 9 is a completion of a cycle. Then you start back at 1 again, because 1 plus 0 is 1, and then again 1 plus 1. You get it. We can do addition, right, guys?
Yeah, right.
Sometimes. Let me use my fingers.
Yeah, right. But yeah, I think it was pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah. So guys, make sure, final thing, make sure whenever you feel the going gets rough, return back to your spiritual practices, whatever they may be, and they will help get you through it. Even if you're atheist, you can turn into yourself and resituate yourself, however that works. I'm not atheist, so I can't really comment much on that. Clearly, I'm doing spiritual stuff.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, just you'll get through this, guys. there's at least one person I feel that has your back, literally has your back, helping you heal through all of this. You just, even if you haven't met them yet, maybe you'll meet them this week.
Yeah.
Could be that. All right. We're going to cut this now and we'll reset and get to the
program.
Get the program.
Mm-hmm. We'll talk more about it. Let's just do the intro.
Okay.
I keep getting sidetracked. Sorry.
Me too. We haven't done the intro yet.
No, I'm like, oh.
Hello there, wayward travelers and wanderers. I am Kim.
I'm Aurora. And this is
Overwhelmed in the Realm.
We sound obnoxious. That's because we probably...
Because we're inside the membrane.
That's true, too. We sound obnoxious probably because we were talking for 30 minutes and we edited it out before you got to see this.
Yes, because this portion's going on YouTube for you guys and all the other platforms.
Yes. We have moved on to, we've been using Anchor, which stemmed us into Spotify.
And then right now it's Pocket Casts with an S at the end. It's weird.
Oh, yeah.
But, I was like, I had to make sure I say it right, because if you go to search it, it's not going to pop up, I don't think. But it has an S at the end, so.
Okay.
And then it's going to, Anchor's going to, takes a couple of weeks sometimes for some of them to pop up, but we'll be on more things that carry podcast eventually.
Yeah, and I mean, we're on Patreon now,
so all the extra stuff that we're doing that we cut out is going to be on Patreon. Plus, we're going to do Conscious Coffee Chit Chat, which is going to happen before we do we record. So we'll do a live over there. What you get, was it $10? Yeah, it's the first tier. That's $10 that goes for everything, and then the tiers go up after that. You get the unedited raw, all the good stuff. Yeah. In between all of our little comments back and forth.
Yeah. Like you'll notice, like in the tarot readings, we're pretty like short to the point on YouTube, but on Patreon we went
more in depth, and we kind of went card by card.
And we showed the process too.
Yeah, the process as well.
Yeah, just so everybody knows that we're not like, oh, we're gonna pick these cards willy-nilly, Yeah. It's like this is really like we pick the cards, and the cards are leading us to what we need to talk about, and then what we talk about hopefully gets to you, and then you are able to, live your life less overwhelming,
Yeah, that's our goal. But maybe you can just watch us and feel a little less overwhelmed, and it kind of calms you down, and hopefully we're like your best friends that are chatting in the kitchen with you.
Or cleaning, doing laundry. That's all I'm doing.
Yeah.
If I listen to a podcast, I'm doing laundry.
Yeah, laundry, cleaning in general. Yeah, I turn on another D&D podcast a lot and just listen to that, laugh my butt off. This is going on YouTube.
Yeah.
Laugh my butt off, guys.
You're like, we really want to say this, but
we can't say some things.
I'm not ladylike. I'm sorry, but
yeah. I mean, you were in the military.
That's true.
I know you weren't like infantry or anything, but still, it's like military has like a certain type of culture about it where you cuss like a lot.
Oh my god, yeah. So I was like,
I think we just went on a tangent about cuss words.
Oh yeah.
What were we talking about?
I even put this away. This is like my notes. I was like, this is what we gathered, I guess.
But you could put it right there if you wanted to.
Yeah. I have to take advantage of this little kickstand that I have. And I don't. I'm like, I don't. I feel like an old person when I use technology.
Yeah, it's like, oh.
I know. I'm like, oh.
It's like me trying to figure out like all this stuff to get all this up, and I'm like,
hey, you handled it.
I did.
So I
should have taken a shower, but I was handling it instead. No, I took a shower today. Now my hair's beautiful and curly.
It's like that
again.
meme you keep posting where it's like washing my hair so it fits in with my plans.
Yeah.
I was like, I bet she means the podcast.
I mean, just in general, it's like, do I want to take a shower and do like 45 minutes of stuff to my hair, or not.
Right.
And then wait till tomorrow so I have a full day and people actually get to see my hair.
Yeah, exactly.
Going back into toxic relationships.
Yeah. Because
that was the card reading.
Yeah.
Full circle, yay!
You know what? I know. Well, it's funny because the thing with toxic relationships, it's just such a very strong topic. And it's so
personal.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And then here we are, episode 2, and then the cards are just like,
you should talk about this. And we're like, well, I guess we have some people in our audience that need to learn more about toxic relationships.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because it's just...
I'm like, I can think of a few off the top of my head, but I'm not going to say names.
Oh, yeah.
But I love you guys, and y'all have talked to me already about them. And I'm just like, I want to help you, but I can't because then, again with the cards, like putting myself too much into a situation.
That's true.
And then I burn out, and then I feel frustrated and upset that I can't help more than I want to.
Yeah. My thing is, so when I ran into, like if it's a friend that's coming to me about like a relationship, I can give all my input into it until I'm blue in the face.
Yeah.
But people,
it's
you
like
always have that one friend where you're like, she's back at it again,
I was that friend. That was me. I have a few, like my friend that stayed here with me. Mm-hmm. She was like, "Whatever, Kim. I gotta be gone with you."
Because
about that.
Yeah. Because it's just one of those things where it's like they will find out the hard way.
Yeah.
It's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
It really is. But
yeah,
when it happened, it was like a bonk in the head where you're like, "Oh yeah, I'm done with this."
Like, I don't really want to tell the story of the ending of that relationship because it's so long and people are going to think of me like a horrible person.
Yeah.
Because whatever I did was very out of character, and I really want to go back in astrology and see what happened at those 2 weeks. Yeah, I've been a serial dater.
Yeah. Same.
So, yeah.
But I just feel like, I mean, there's always that type where you're like, I think me and my husband and I were even talking about it, like there's 2 type of people. There's the ones that are better in relationships, and then there's the ones that are fine being single, and they're like single for a while, and then they settle down and then they find somebody, which Minecraft still $30 on Steam.
Is it really?
Yeah, I was like, dang, that's expensive.
Yeah, they had to add a whole bunch of stuff. All right, let's go back into it. Ooh.
Okay. This might be the part where
we run away. No,
it's like this cuts off and then it cuts back on and we're like in the Bahamas or something. And be like,
hey guys,
we needed a vacation. Needed a much needed vacation.
Oh my gosh,
that was funny. Okay.
Woo!
This is why you need to spend the extra money.
Yeah.
Because you're missing out.
You're missing out, guys. Oh dear.
Oh my gosh, this is funny. Okay. Okay, let's break this down, I guess. So, number 1 on the tarot reading, that was kind of like the theme of it. Yeah, the weekly theme. God, what a subject for it to just like throw at us.
Yeah. So yeah, we're talking about, I guess, I want to say the big themes like toxicity in your relationships, with yourself, with other people, online, just your connections. There's some type of toxicity happening.
Yeah.
And they're telling you, hey, it's time to go inward and focus more on yourself, which kind of ties into the last reading we did. Because they did talk about, hey, this whole year, it's time to focus on yourself instead of worrying about the world around you.
Yeah.
I mean, just in general, because this is going to be coming out after the inauguration, but we're recording it before the inauguration. and it's kind of like,
mind your business.
Yeah, it's like we all have a different view of what we want to see in the world. And it's not going to agree with someone else. But the thing that we probably all can agree on is that, you know what? We don't like it when people butt into our lives.
Yeah.
You know, stuff like that. Like, what is like a core thing? And then that's how you build relationships better. And then you're like, take away the toxicity, like, of you trying to change somebody.
Yeah. That and detaching too.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to talk about it like politically,
yeah,
we're detaching.
Yeah.
To be honest, you know, as a country, as you know, it's like nowadays when you bring politics into it, everybody gets so passionate.
Yeah.
They get so driven by their opinion, and it breaks relationships. It cuts ties. And oh my gosh, like you can even like go back to the beginning of like 2000s when we were not even like this divided before. Yeah. And then now everybody's like, oh, but we should come together and, you know, whatnot.
Yeah, it's like, what happened to, like, you know, united we stand, divided we fall?
Yeah.
Like after 9/11?
But now
it's like we're all divided in what's happening.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people are kind of forgetting our history too. Yeah. You know, when it's like, if you forget about it, then you're going to end up doing it again.
Yeah.
A cycle.
Yeah. Back to this. Cycles.
Yeah.
Not just like, you know, with the political sphere, but also within yourself, your life, your relationships. What cycles are you repeating? Is it like, oh, we hit this bump here and we've talked about it, and then it's been a few months later and now we hit the same bump again? Yeah. And it's causing more turmoil, more toxicity. Getting to maybe the root of that, or figuring out like, oh, what really is going on deep down. Maybe you're only touching the surface of the problem, which comes, you know, if you're in a marriage, you're going to hit those cycles all the time.
Oh, yeah.
And
they're like, oh, yeah, 4 years. That's like the worst, like the hill. And then like there's like major hills.
Yeah.
In marriage and that.
Yeah.
Autopilot is what I wanted to talk about.
Yes.
So like, I'm very mindful, and I am also, I'm an empath. So I'm very, like, if I have a habit, I realize it. I'm like, oh, you know, I tend to do this, you know, and then I start baby steps and I work from there. But I think everybody's so, I mean, not a lot of people practice
the mindfulness.
That, and I don't fault people for it, because it took me a long time to get there too. Yeah. But that's a big part, is like the change where like people are like, well, I tend to do this and I tend to do that, and they keep like getting stuck, and they don't realize, like, you know, when you're like complaining, you're like, oh, this always happens. And it's like, well, maybe if I stop doing that, it would go, you know, a lot smoother, you know?
Yeah.
You know, I feel like I went with a rant.
No, you're fine. It's like, I was going like, I learned from other people's mistakes. Like, we talked about this last time too. It's like, I watch other people, I'm like, don't do that. It's like, I'll internalize that and keep it, and then add it to my, you know, my library of things I don't want to do.
Yeah.
But that also comes into toxicity with myself as well. It's like, I don't want to be like that. And I'm like, well, where did that idea come from? First off, did it come from my parents? Did it come from my siblings, my older siblings? Because I have a wide range of siblings, guys. I have like, I think the oldest is like in the 50s, and then the youngest is 26. So there's a total of 8.
Oh, yeah, that explains it.
Yeah, but like my dad had like 3 before he met my mom, and then my mom had 3 before they met my dad. It's like the Brady Bunch, and they had 2 more, which is me and my little sister. And the Brady Bunch.
That is so good. Now I got the songs up.
I wish it was that.
Oh.
It's like, oh. It was a dysfunctional Brady Bunch.
Yeah.
But they loved each other for a few years in that. I mean, I came along pretty fast after they got together.
Oh,
Like
you were that baby.
I was that baby. But hey, I'm here now, guys.
I know. I'm like, but look what it turned into.
It was very spiritual thing because I kicked my way out of my mom and I was born in the back of an ambulance on Easter Sunday.
Dang, you are an Aries. You're like, I charge in. Yeah, you're like, hello world, and then they're like, okay,
calm down.
Can't take enough Kim.
Oh my gosh, it's like what is that one lady that's like I like to kick.
Oh gosh, yeah.
That's what oh my gosh. Okay, roll it back in.
Oh yeah, sorry.
This is supposed to be shorter for you YouTubers.
I know. It's like we gotta cut so much out.
We'll figure it out.
Whatever. Still, episode 3. Third time's the charm, right? You know?
It's like, yeah. I mean, technically it's episode 2. The first one that we posted was a trailer of us talking.
Still, we're figuring it out.
Figuring it out. Part 2.
Yeah. But we're doing better about it.
Yeah, going back to like, cycles within yourself and, me seeing other people and then turning that internally and like, well, I see this person do that and I don't want to do that. And then that somehow turns toxic in my mind sometimes. And especially like body image. Like I know I look fine, but I don't look fine. That's the way it is in my brain. I'm like, and I'm trying to change that.
Yeah.
But it's a work in progress. It's like taking 5 steps forward and then like 4 steps back. And I'm like, I'm practically back at square one again, and then trying to turn my negativity off and then try not to get positive or toxic positivity going.
Yeah.
Because that doesn't help because you're not dealing with the issues. And then it's a cycle again.
Yeah, there.
I
guess that goes into toxic relationships.
Yeah, with yourself. Yeah. It's like, is it you saying it or is it someone inside of you from when you were younger saying things and coming out?
I always had that theory where I was like, it's us getting tired of seeing the same old thing.
Yeah.
Because, when you're like, oh my God, like my hair, like,
yeah.
Do I need to color it? Do I need to cut it? Do I need to give myself bangs? And then you're like, oh my gosh, talk myself out of it because bangs at home.
You know what? Mirrors were the problem. That's what it was.
Yeah. Yeah.
Being able to see your reflection.
Yeah, because, like my theory is like we see the same thing. And I don't know about you, but I like to rearrange my furniture a lot.
Yes.
Because I'm tired of the same layout. And after a while, it makes me feel like I did something and like it made a difference. Well, with you might be like, well, I got these new glasses and I feel
awesome. Mm-hmm. How do you like them, guys?
Yeah, right.
They're like, this is the biggest pair of glasses I've ever had like in my life.
It's funny how they made like a turnaround and they're like stylish now.
Yeah.
Anyways,
back to toxic relationships, guys.
Oh my God, yeah,
I know we're gonna tangent a lot.
I know we do this. We need to make a script.
Yeah.
Because it's like we get so off topic that we're like. But we also don't know what the cards are going to say either, so we'll have to work that out.
Like we could maybe record that a different time, and then do a script, and then come back.
Yeah.
Or
we could do the chit chat coffee on Fridays, but that would have to be in the morning, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh yeah. So we would just have to plan it out. Okay. So we would just have to make a full day out of it. Yeah, so we do the coffee, and then we do the cards, then we do the script, and then we do the podcast.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Toxic relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Not just within ourselves, comparing.
Yeah.
Women tend to do that.
Yes.
Social media.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's so prevalent.
Yes.
I look on there and I'm like, well, my hips look about the same size, or like, it's weird because it used to be like you had to be like stick skinny, Christina Aguilera Dirty, where she was like skinny, and then like low rise pants growing up. Yeah. It was so popular.
And somehow your butt crack is not sticking out.
I feel like I think the paparazzi took a few butt crack photos, because as soon as you bend over in those jeans,
Yeah, I mean, then again, they had the thongs to cover it up.
That's true. It was actually a thing where you put the thong over.
It's coming back. Oh my god! I've seen some young little children on TikTok. I mean, not like tiny, but I mean, they're all children to me at this point. When the kids that are going to college still look like children, I know I've gotten old.
I'm like, these are kids. Like,
yeah, you look at them, you're like, these aren't like kids, they're children.
Yeah,
they're babies.
I know. I'm like, they like,
and they're like, I'm not a baby. I'm like, yeah, you are. You're so cute. Look at all that angst.
And be like, oh, trust me. You'll look back and be like, oh, yeah, and be like, oh.
Just you wait in about 10 years.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I was just like, yeah, it like meant the world. Even though I'm 5 feet tall, I still like know that.
Are you exactly 5 feet?
Yeah.
Oh, I was like, I could have sworn like we were like the same height.
Like
maybe it's because you wear your hair up.
That's
so
true.
It gives you, and then you're wearing the boots.
Yeah, I wear a lot of boots nowadays. I'm a boot girl right now. But you know, it's kind of like when you like see somebody else doing it, and you're like, don't do that. That's something that I had to do to like be like, oh, can't do that. You know?
Yeah. Like, I'm trying to fix my posture.
Oh no, it's okay. I feel like toxic relationship that I've had in my life wasn't even like a romantic one. I mean, I think my marriage in some parts.
Yeah, some things you can just work through.
Yeah.
And communicate, which helps a lot. Communication is like a cornerstone in a relationship.
Yeah.
It's not always the intimacy. It's not always like the fun things you do. It's where it comes back to the communication.
Yeah.
That's how you get through the things.
Yeah. That's why it's like it's kind of like hard to like focus on talking about this because it's so many different things, you know, like we pointed out.
20-sided die.
Yeah, like we pointed out, it's not just romantic relationships. Like when we talk about relationships, anything's a relationship.
Yeah, it's like whatever you spend your time on, your relationship with your phone, with social media, with the people around you, with the elders, with whatever
like spiritual stuff. Yeah.
Whatever you spend your time on with, it's all a relationship in some aspect. And there's a lot of toxicity that can come about in those things. Going back to, the cards from earlier, it's you fall back on, your strength inside of yourself. When things are moving around really fast, and you're, it's like, I think one of them was like the stone and shifting sands.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you're still the rock, even though everything is moving around you. Everything comes back to you and how you respond to the things that are happening. Spiritually, you could pray or meditate or, grab a crystal and hold on to it and help bring yourself back to center, or whatever else it is that you do. Like sitting here like there's like a T-Rex.
I think what stuck out with me was intuition.
Mm-hmm.
But what's hard though? The strength within yourself and believing in yourself.
Yeah.
Like if we are talking about, because what sticks out to me every time I hear toxic relationship, I just think of like an abusive relationship.
Yeah.
And you know how hard those are.
Oh yeah.
Like to like sit there and be like, wait a minute, am I being abused?
And then the only person you feel like you trust is the abuser.
Yeah.
In some of those cases.
Yeah,
and they're like, I'm not abusing you.
Yeah, right. And like they gaslight and they're like, you're overreacting.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what happened.
Yeah.
Like you're getting too emotional about it.
Mm-hmm.
And you start to not trust yourself.
Yeah.
And like you start second guessing your abilities. You start, you have to like take a moment to actually like find the beauty within yourself.
Yeah.
And like realize, oh my gosh, I don't deserve this.
Mm-hmm.
And like
it takes a lot to admit that to yourself.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you're like, maybe I do deserve this. Maybe maybe the reason why this is happening is because I deserve it because of this that happened. Like,
yeah.
And like you try to compare it to things that happened in your past. It's like no one deserves to be treated like that.
Yeah.
And walked on, no matter what relationship it is in.
Yeah, even if you don't know a person, malice towards anybody, whether they're somebody you just met, acquaintance,
yeah,
relationship, some sort, because I'm a believer in like karma, and I think that everything that you put into comes back tenfold.
Yeah.
So it's like you don't want to do that, because, and I think it even said something about, like, in the cards, it said something about, like, actually, yeah, it was number 3, release the toxic relationships, and it was like, surround yourself with kindness, because what you put into the universe will come back, because you're putting higher standards too. You're like, I choose to only be around, like, for example, I've cut ties with a lot of like friendships. One of them, I felt like I was being manipulated, where I felt like I was being disrespected and used. So I personally was like, I'm just not gonna hang out with you, we could talk more too about how to cut out toxic relationships, because sometimes it isn't that easy. But after a while I started to withdraw, and I realized, this isn't the type of friend that I want to have, and so I started branching out more, and then I went into hanging out with another friend, and I realized, she's the type to drink a lot, and that's okay. I'm not saying that's wrong or anything, unless you're an alcoholic and
it's clearly affecting everyone around you.
But like, it got to a point where I was like, I don't see this like fitting or benefiting me by doing this, in my life,
it's like
anymore.
You grow to a point where you're like, drinking is just not my thing anymore. Like, a social drink every now and then is, it's social. It doesn't like make you get, wasted. And then you feel like crap the next morning, and then you have to take care of a kid on top of that. It's like, it doesn't make sense.
I mean, and not that I would get drunk. But I did find myself, like, I was like, this person's like really heavily drinking. And the way that she was behaving and making, the other friends that we were hanging out with were also like heavily drinking. And I was like, the way that this kind of energy to like base a friendship off of just getting drunk and having fun can only get you so far.
And then you as an empath, you're really affected by all that too, and then you feel pressured to drink as well. Because
it was like, I don't want to do this every weekend.
I
was like, if everybody's drinking, I'll have a glass, whatever. And at that, I mean, going back to me being like intuitive and mindful, I'm mindful enough to be like, I'm gonna get a glass, I'm gonna have this, but I'm not gonna get drunk. But not everybody can do that, So, but once I cut ties with her, and again, like, withdrawed and realized like that's not the foundation of what I want as like that friendship. So I was like, this isn't gonna happen anymore. I felt so much better, because again, whatever you put out, you get back in.
It's like I never had to go about the whole like, oh, I see that this is happening and I have to pull away. Typically when I've had toxic relationships, they just blow up and that's that. I'm like, I can talk about how to recover after that, which for me was a lot of crying. I mean, because they always blow up in my face. And I did a lot of crying to process the relationship, because it's like, it was a relationship I cared about, and I thought it was going to go somewhere, and I thought we had a deep connection and everything, and then just poof, gone. And so I had to mourn the friendship, which is very important, especially when the person's still alive, and you know that they're still out there doing their thing, and you know you might run into them because you live in the same town. It's like, so you have to go through the grieving process of mourning a friendship you thought was going to last a lot longer than it did. And then sometimes, like, other people in your life, like if it's it could be an in-law, it could be, you know, a parent figure, or what have you, if they have a lot of, you know, influence over people in your life and that blows up, sometimes they can come back around and they'll change.
Yeah.
And you don't have to accept them back into your heart as fast. They need to kind of prove themselves. But I mean, people will go through cycles as well, and it's okay to give those people second chances.
Yeah.
If you feel like it.
Yeah.
Like, because there's some people that are in my life that I'm like, I see all the changes you've made, but I'm still weary of completely trusting you.
Mm-hmm.
Which, you know, is hard to trust someone after they've broken aspects of yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, with my parents even, I've had to, like, and I think it's so, I mean, I see it everywhere and it's so toxic. Mm-hmm. I'm just going to say this right now. Just because somebody is family doesn't mean that you have to associate with them.
Yeah.
Because
I've had to cut people out from family.
Yeah. And I mean, I had to do it. I call it grounding, you know, like grounding my own parents. But like, you know, my dad or my stepmom have said something that was like out of bounds. Mm-hmm. And I was like, you know, that's not okay.
Yeah.
To say to me. And so, you know, I had to take a break from them off of social media, mm-hmm. even from like calling and that, and mm-hmm. But people are probably like, well, why'd you do that, Aurora? You know, but the thing is, like,
you're putting up boundaries.
Yes, because it's like, this is my standard. Again, releasing toxic relationships. Yeah. This is my standard of how I want to be treated. And you need to learn and take a time out mm-hmm. and realize that wasn't okay. Why did I say that, you know? And to this day, I haven't had any issues about like being disrespected from my own parents.
Yeah, it's very important to put those boundaries down. And it's part of respecting yourself and making sure people also respect you. I mean, there's, you know, toxicity in doing that too much. And you have to find the balance.
Yeah.
It's like, and then if people think that you're being toxic for putting a boundary down, then you don't need to be around those people.
Oh, yeah. Then you're probably dealing with like a narcissist.
Yeah. You're like, you know what? You can go be toxic over there somewhere.
Yeah. We can make a whole episode about narcissism.
Yeah.
You know, the narcissism.
Yeah. Both of those. But if you just draw like a small line in the sand, like, you know what? I don't like it when you grab my hand that way. Yeah. And they're like turning it around and making them the victim of it. It's like, it's something so simple. It's like, please just don't touch my hand.
Yeah.
Or don't grab my hair. I mean, it's like kids on the playground. Like, please don't pull my hair.
Yeah.
I don't like that. And they're like, but I love pulling your hair. Why would you do this to me? You know, it's like, if you put like those things in silly context, you'd be like, but it's very simple.
Yeah.
It's like,
but I think we all have it in our heads that we need to be polite, but we also have to be polite to ourselves, mm-hmm. you know? And I think that's where it all begins, on recognizing our strength, is putting up the high standards and the mm-hmm. boundaries, and then realizing this is what I deserve. This is the treatment that I'm getting. How do I go about making sure that they understand my boundary, and we can get to a compromise, or we can reach, you know, maybe it's, you know, them that has a habit, and mm-hmm. you know, how can I work with them to you know, help them work on this.
Yeah.
But again, you know, going back, you also can't overwork yourself either.
Yeah, you can if you're having trouble finding those boundaries, you can always ask for help. I mean, I know not everyone can afford, you know, therapy, which is a very good start for getting help. But there are people around you that are probably trying to reach out to you, and they're like, "Hey, let me just help you a little bit," or they give you advice, or, you know, what have you. You have people probably at your disposal in a way that are willing to help you.
Yeah.
Help you heal, give you advice, but at the end of the day, you can take the advice, but what are you going to do with it?
It's going back
to a call to action, right? It's like, okay, I know, like, I have this plan, but I refuse to take the first step. So you're going to be stuck in a cycle until you finally take that first step. It is the first step leaving the town that you're in because the people there are toxic, or the person that you're whatever with is toxic, and you need to leave the town, new faces, new people, new atmosphere even.
Yeah.
Could be just the whole town's toxic.
Oh God, yeah. Small towns. Like,
yeah.
Where everybody knows your business.
Yep.
See, this is why I love the cards that we got today, because I was like, there's a theme, and it all makes sense.
Yeah.
We didn't have to use context cards. It was like all laid out.
Yeah, it's very simple. It's like children. All right, guys, we have to go because we're people and we have lives. So sorry to cut this short. We will put up our notes probably in the in the description section, so you can kind of get an idea of what the card said. So just wanted to say thank you for watching Overwhelmed in the Realm. Have a lovely rest of your time, day, week, month, All right. Bye. Hey guys, again, sorry for having to cut everything short. Children got really tired towards the end of that, and we had to go. But don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share, all the stuff. Yeah. All right. See y'all next time. Bye.